What's up, guys? It's your man KP67s, bringing you another video. We're going to be continuing on with our Empire review series with the next entry here. Let's see, here we go. And today's entry is going to be the Shore Trooper. Now, the Shore Trooper, he's pretty popular only because of how hard they made his farm for the longest time. But we'll get into that. So, Shore Trooper. As you can see, he's also an Imperial Trooper and a tank in this case. And when you look at his stats, one of the biggest things that most people mod him for, that most people like him for, is the fact that he is so beefy. We're looking at, like, right now I have him modded up pretty heavy duty on protection. I'll go over mods in a little bit. But like you can see, he's sitting at almost 77,000 protection, and he's pretty quick on his feet too. Potency is, yeah, that's sitting where it is. Crit chance ain't that high. Physical damage is decent. He's got a good amount of armor here. I would ultimately like to mod him a little better for armor later, but you know what? I'm happy where he is right now. So, where can you find the Shore Trooper? Well, you can only find him either in the shipments or in the most controversial node that any dark side user has ever had to get through. Node 9B, aka the Gauntlet, where you're just getting hammered left, right, and center. I know that a few people have recently been able to get through it pretty quickly and easily using the Phoenix squad. So in case you've been working on Phoenix for Thrawn, here's another use for them before you put them away in the shelf, never to use them again. The other thing is that he's available in shipments, but the problem with shipments is that his node is still like stupid expensive. Yeah, for 8 shards, 640 crystals. So he's still going at a high rate of 1 shard for 80 crystals compared to, oh, look at that, right beside him, Baze Malbus, who's going for 1 shard for 50. This has been going on for about 9 months? About 9 months since he was released into shipments, and before that he was the first tournament prize. They pumped out a ton of packs for him. It was a long drawn out thing for his shards. But long story short, 9B is where you find him, and you're gonna have to probably use really tanky characters to get through it because it is a hassle. I got through it with my Jedi, barely getting through with Jedi because I took a Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn lead, but that's a whole other thing entirely. So with respect to gearing, since he is a tank, his gear is not the nicest in the world. He's going to be very Mark III Carbonti heavy, very stun gun heavy, so if you're going to be farming them up quickly, you're going to need to stockpile those, for sure. With respect to his abilities, they're pretty cut and dry. They're all Omegas, no Zetas here, unfortunately, but, he seems pretty good without the Zeta, and I'll get into that. So his basic target weapons deal physical damage with a 70% chance to inflict critical chance down for 3 turns. I don't have his potency the highest in the world, but when I had his potency higher, he was hitting critical chance down pretty frequently. And then, yeah, 70% chance that, I don't know why they like 70%. I really don't, but that's neither here nor there. Regroup is his taunt and heal. All allies recover health equal to Shore Trooper's health, 24%, and they gain critical hit immunity, and he taunts for 2 turns. Whenever Shore Trooper loses a buff, this ability is reduced in cooldown by 1. So this is why you want Shore Trooper to be quick, because he can put up that taunt constantly, especially when you're dealing with Dispellers, you're dealing with, like Dispellers like Commander Luke Skywalker or Darth Nihilus. If you have 3 buffs on him, he gets to use it the next turn. So it can be very, very annoying for different teams, unless you can control him. And then finally, his unique, Stand Guard. From the get-go, this is the original OG pre-taunter before Baze Malbus came into the scene. At the start of each encounter, he gains taunt for 1 turn. Whenever another allied Empire unit uses a special, if Shore Trooper is taunting, they gain 15% turn meter and Shore recovers 10% of his health. So again, in a full Empire squad, you're giving them extra speed, and as well as if Shore Trooper took damage, he's going to be able to heal from it. And finally, the Trooper portion. While Shore Trooper is active, Imperial Troopers have 10% max health. That's not the most useful Trooper buff of all of them, and that's why I don't usually run him with Troopers, and I'll get into that when I talk about strategy. So, with respect to modding, this is generally the kind of modding style that you should be gunning for, especially if you're going to use him in Arena, and I do recommend him for Arena. 4 speed set mods, and 2 health mods, because, you know, he does heal based off of his own health, so you want to increase his own base health as well. I recommend, obviously, since I want him speedy, I recommend speed on the arrow, but everything else here, protection, protection, protection. That's what you want to be gunning for. Ideally, you want him to be sitting with health or protection secondaries, because those are just going to make him more tankier. If you happen to have extra things like offense or crit chance or potency, those aren't bad. I would probably prioritize defense even a little before things like critical chance and stuff, but honestly, like with Shore, you want him as speedy as possible. That's the key thing here. And then finally, I keep logging out. My bad, guys, my bad. With respects to uses, so like I said, he is very, very, very helpful to use in Arena, especially when you pair him with a Stormtrooper, because they will be kind of bouncing taunts back and forth. Whenever Stormtrooper gets a taunt off, he's going to keep it up until Shore Trooper's ready to put his taunt up, and they'll just kind of go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they'll just be like that tank wall, where if you can't bypass the taunt, so if you're not like CLS or Boba Fett with their unique buffs, it just kind of really puts a damper on any other team that would try to hit them, because they can't hit some of the squishier characters like Death Trooper or Krennic or Thrawn. They can't be hit as long as Shore Trooper or Stormtrooper have taunt up, which makes them very useful. With respect to raids, I do recommend the Shore Trooper at Phase 3 of the Heroic AAT as part of the Chirpa-Teen or Chirpa-Thrawn teams as your initial starting tank. He takes the heat off of everybody else while he takes the damage, because, as you know, all the little Super B ones will shoot initially, and if they're all targeting Shore Trooper, they're not targeting Palpatine or Thrawn or anybody else. The team that I run includes Chief Chirpa, obviously, Palpatine, Thrawn, Shore Trooper, and Royal Guard. And between Royal Guard and Shore Trooper, Palpatine is very well protected. I go a couple rounds into Enrage before both Shore and RG are dead. And finally, his ship. Oh, his ship causes me no grief to no end. Mostly because it's been in the game for, oh god, like close to a year. This is definitely 9 months. It came out about end of December, beginning of January of this year. Still not farmable. Still not farmable, and that's just such a problem, because the TIE Reaper is a beautiful, beautiful ship, and I will go a little bit more in-depth with the TIE Reaper in its own separate thing, but suffice to say, the TIE Reaper is this amazing, amazing ship for Empire-focused fleet arena, and this is all because of his unique Grim Voyage, where anytime you defeat an enemy, the opposing capital ship loses turn meter. This ship, when it's on your lineup, when you're killing off all the other ships, this ship will suppress that other capital ship, be it another Tarkin ship, be it a Mace Windu ship. It will suppress it to the point where, you know, you're getting off your ultimate and it's maybe taken 1, maybe 2 turns. It's fired at you once with an AoE, and maybe it's released a reinforcement, but that's as far as it gets. Okay guys, well, I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about with Shore Trooper here. I will be posting videos demonstrating their abilities as I talk about them in Raid, in Arena some more. Yeah, so just to kind of like knock home their abilities and what they're able to do and how you can use them. Shore Trooper is definitely 100% recommended for any Empire Arena team you want to use. I would even hazard to say he is like the tank that is required on an Empire team. If you do not have Shore Trooper, you need to get Shore Trooper. And unfortunately, he is not the easiest farm, but the beautiful thing about, well, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. He's not easy to farm, but you don't need him at max stars to use him. If you gear him to gear 11, gear 12, well, not gear 12, sorry. You gear him to gear 11, he will put in the work. If you want gear 12, obviously you need to get 7 stars, but like I said before, his gearing is not the easiest, so please stockpile your gear if you're going after Shore Trooper, stockpile those Carbantes, and when you have Shore Trooper and when you want to work up Shore Trooper, push him up as soon as possible. I cannot stress that enough. This guy has saved my butt more times than I can count, and I just love using him. Alright guys, that finishes up another review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like. If you feel like there could be some improvements, don't be afraid to leave a comment. I answer questions if you have any questions in the comment section. So yeah, have a good night guys.